Okay, it's almost the end of 2016 and there are a ton of options to choose from for your daily driver device, but there's one thing you can agree on: the two front-running OSs are iOS and Android. And I have two phones here in front of me that I want you guys to help me decide between. It's the iPhone 7 versus the OnePlus 3. Now please leave your comments in the section below, but without more delay, let's get started. First things first, the price. Now for the vast majority of people out there, I'm pretty sure this is the deciding factor. Now have a look at this. The iPhone 7 that I got here, which is a 128 gig, costs $1,029. Again, I'm in Canada. Taxes and shipping and all that fun stuff in, I paid almost $1,200 for this phone. By the way, most laptops cost less than $1,200. Anyways, the OnePlus 3 is featured on its website for $519. Now once you add taxes and shipping, you're surprised by customs, which is an additional $40. So I paid almost $620 for the OnePlus 3, shipped to Canada. That's basically half the price of the iPhone 7. Taking a look at the boxes of both of these phones, you'll find that they're pretty similar as far as contents go, except for the iPhone 7 comes with Lightning headphones. Yes, the much talked about removal of the headphone jack means that there's also a dongle in here that goes from Lightning to 3.5mm headphone jack, and then the typical earpods that go straight to Lightning. Now let's take a look at the actual devices. You'll find that they're both pretty similar. Obviously there's a difference in size between the iPhone 7 and the OnePlus 3, but good luck getting a matte black iPhone 7 Plus anytime soon. Now taking a look at the actual devices, obviously there's a difference in size. The iPhone 7 is smaller than the OnePlus 3, and that shows up in a few other ways. More on that in a minute. But you'll find that they're both metal build quality. The OnePlus 3 has a skin on it, so it's kind of glossy, but they both have camera bumps, they both have a light on the back, and antenna bands, except for the iPhone 7s are hidden because of the color black. The OnePlus 3 has a 16 megapixel shooter, while the iPhone 7 has a 12 megapixel shooter. Both can shoot 4K, but more on that in a minute. Now let's move to the bottom of these phones. This is where most of the changes happen on the iPhone 7. There are two speaker grills, one of which is actually functioning, one is not. The OnePlus 3, however, has USB Type-C with dash charging, which charges your phone up super fast, and a headphone jack and a speaker grill. In terms of feel in the hand, the OnePlus 3 is kind of nice and easy to hold. It's thinner, and the back is kind of curved, so it's easier to hold in the hand. The iPhone 7 is naturally a little bit smaller, and that makes it a little bit easier to hold in the hand, especially when you're typing with one hand, which is easy to do on both these phones once you install anything like SwiftKey or any third-party keyboards. The OnePlus 3 is a 5.5-inch display at 1080p resolution at 401 ppi, while the iPhone 7 is 4.7 inches at only roughly 720p with 326 ppi. As far as outdoor visibility goes, the OnePlus 3 isn't great, but then again, the iPhone 7 is not great either. Both of these phones are at full brightness. But to be honest, unless you have something next to the iPhone 7 to compare it to, it looks great. Coming back indoors, you'll obviously find that the bigger screen helps with the immersion into the material that you're watching on the OnePlus 3 versus the iPhone 7. The other notable feature in the iPhone 7 is stereo sound, which is kind of weak in the iPhone 7 in my opinion. It's more like 1.5 speakers instead of 2 speakers, because when you cover out the bottom, the other sound comes out of the actual earpiece, and it's kind of tinny and it's kind of hollow compared to the sound coming out of the main speaker on the bottom. The OnePlus 3, on the other hand, only has the one speaker on the bottom, which is kind of traditional, so you just have to cup your hand around it like we've been doing for years. One of the other cool features about the iPhone 7 is the inclusion of Force Touch, which is kind of like what they do on their MacBook trackpads, which means that you can press on the screen, like physically press your finger into the screen, and then you can press a little harder to make it do more stuff. Oh, and it's also worth mentioning, both of these phones have non-button buttons for their home buttons. I'm going to stop saying buttons like that. So you can just press on it and the phone will vibrate to let you know that you've touched it. Moving on, one of the other places the iPhone 7 shines is with its IP67 certification, which means that it's water and dust resistant, I think up to more submersion than you would normally have. So if you get thrown into a pool at a party somewhere, you'll be fine. And as far as performance goes on one of the more basic games out there like Subway Surfer, even though the OnePlus 3 has like 6 or 17 million gigs of RAM, it doesn't make a difference. The iPhone 7 with its measly 2 gigs still runs faster and loads games and everything else you would possibly need faster than the OnePlus 3. Now switching over to the camera, here are some samples, and you'll find that in general the OnePlus 3 and the iPhone 7 take pretty good pictures, although the iPhone 7's interface is a lot easier to use, it's kind of idiot proof. But I also found that the color representation in the iPhone 7 was a lot truer to what I was seeing in front of me when I was taking these pictures. And also, the autofocusing was much better and more precise on the iPhone 7 than it was on the OnePlus 3. And you'll find here in the video that the noise cancellation in the OnePlus 3 is extremely aggressive, so don't be surprised if you're talking into the camera and you can't be heard. On the iPhone 7, I felt that the OIS was much better, the audio quality is just fine. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this comparison. Please let me know in the comment section below which one of these two you would keep, and hopefully it'll help you decide if you're in that type of predicament yourself. Make sure you guys rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.